I'd like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. It's lovely to join you today. Every year Christmas comes round again, but it's the first time I've ever done this. Broadcast something from my own house, but this year has been like no other year. Maybe you'll remember the Scottish comedian Ricky Fulton. He would appear often at the end of the year, at New Year, and he played a clergyman called the Reverend I Am Jolly. He was a minister, and it was a spoof on a programme called Late Call. It used to get out late at night, and clergymen, I think it was always men in those days, would appear for about 3 minutes every weeknight, and they would get to address the nation. I'm so old that not only do I remember that programme, I was actually even featured on it for 1 week. I did 5 broadcasts on being the minister in Gorbals. Anyway, Ricky Fulton kept this idea going long after the programme had been discontinued. And every year he played the part of a moany, dull, depressive minister. And every year the negativity would just go up a wee notch. Every year it just got worse and worse. The cameras would begin with a darkened room. He'd be sitting in his seat, and then eventually the lights would go up and the camera would focus in on him. And he would look up at the camera in a sort of despairing way, and he would say, "Hello, it's been a hell of a year." Well, this Christmas or this New Year would be the perfect time for Ricky Fulton, because it has been a hell of a year. This is a year that's impacted on our whole planet. It's affected everybody one way or another. There's the fact of all the people who have been ill with this coronavirus, and the fact that people have died from the coronavirus in such huge numbers. And then there's all the other things that have gone along with that. The social costs, the costs to businesses and livelihoods, mental health issues, the ways we relate to each other. You know that social distancing, that's not natural for us. So it has been a terrible time. We come towards the end of a year now that we'll be glad to see the back of. December is a dark season, but this has been a dark, dark year like no other. And now Christmas comes. My all-time favourite Christmas verse actually comes from a poem, and the poem is in the book of John, beginning of John's Gospel. And the line reads like this: "The light shines in the darkness, but the darkness can never put it out." Now that's my favourite Christmas verse. It might be my favourite Bible verse as well. And even at that, I do wish it was a bit different. If I could, I'd like to tweak it a wee bit. And maybe it could say, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has been defeated." Or, "The light shines in the darkness, and now the darkness is gone." Instead, we've got, "Light shines in the darkness, but the darkness could never put it out." That's slightly less impressive. But it does strike me as being true. It strikes me as being true to this world. Despite all the good news of Christmas and all other kinds of good news, there is darkness in the world, and it's real. There's suffering, there's injustice, there's pain, there's illness, there's oppression. We can add coronavirus now to the list. There's plenty that's going on that is not good. And sometimes it seems to us like the darkness is always winning. But John writes these words: "The light has come in and shining in the darkness." Light has come into the world and is shining in the darkness. And that's what we need to hold on to. Because just as the dark is real, the light is real as well. And best of all, the light will not go away. The darkness can't put the light out. The darkness can't stop the light. It means, in effect, that there is always hope. And this is the story behind the story of Christmas. That God enters the darkness to be alongside us. God doesn't stand back aloof from the world, but God comes into our world and comes to be with us. And in that action, we have reason to hope. So John's Gospel is clear. The darkness is not an illusion, it is real. We're always in a battle with it. We always have to contend with it. But we're never alone. The blessing of God is solidarity because God has come to be with us. The light has come to be with us. So let's rejoice in the message of Christmas and realise that whatever comes our way, whatever shadows might surround us, God is with us to light a light that the darkness can't overcome. And we know this from the life and the teaching and the example of Jesus. And that's why we celebrate it every year. Love is stronger than death, and hope is stronger than despair. So let me say it again, a very happy Christmas to you all. May God bless you and yours this Christmas.